What if the very things people say are too much about you are actually signs of something extraordinary? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why Carl Jung believed that what society often criticizes may actually point to your life's deepest purpose. He once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But what if who you are doesn't fit the mold? Maybe your intensity, your depth, your refusal to live on the surface aren't flaws. Maybe they're rare psychological traits, misunderstood but powerful. If you've ever felt like you just don't belong, like you're too deep, too intense, or too different, this isn't by accident. Jung's research uncovered something few ever realize. Some people are born with what he called differentiated consciousness, a way of perceiving life that's advanced, uncommon, and sometimes isolating. But here's the catch, and I'll reveal it in just a moment. Today, we're breaking down 8 signs you might have this rare personality type. If these resonate with you, it might not just change how you see yourself, it could shift the entire direction of your life. Sign 1, you feel too much, and that's your superpower. Have you ever felt your emotions so deeply they seem overwhelming, even to you? Jung discovered that people like you don't just feel emotions, you live inside them. He called it an affect-toned complex, a psychological intensity that resonates through your entire being. You're not overreacting, you're experiencing emotional depth most people have been conditioned to suppress. When you walk into a room, you sense the tension. When someone smiles but doesn't mean it, you feel the truth behind it. This isn't emotional instability, it's emotional intelligence at a rare level. But here's where it turns dangerous. When the world tells you to tone it down, you try to fit in. And the moment you do that, Jung warned your psyche starts to split. You feel fake, exhausted, disconnected. The solution? Not suppression, not avoidance, but integration. And I'll show you how in sign 6. Sign 2, you can't stop asking why. Why do people stay in unhappy relationships? Why do we pretend shallow talk is connection? Why do we accept lives that don't fulfill us? You can't just accept things at face value. And Jung would say that's a good thing. He called this the active thinking function, a refusal to live unconsciously. But here's the shadow side. The more you question, the more isolated you can feel. People say you're too negative, too critical, when really, you're just honest. Jung believed people like you possess prophetic consciousness, the ability to see what others deny. But this gift requires responsibility. You're not here just to see truth. You're here to embody it, and that's not always easy. Sign 3. Your independence wasn't a choice. It was survival. Jung said, the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely, and if you've done that, it's because you had to. You stopped looking to others for validation. You built yourself alone. He called this individuation, becoming whole without outside approval. But there's a twist. That very strength, it draws in people who want to control it and pushes away those who can't handle it. You don't want a relationship to complete you. You want one that honors who you already are. But Jung found that people like you often attract both deep love and dangerous manipulation. The key is discernment, and I'll show you how in sign 7. Sign 4. You're intuitive in ways that seem psychic. You don't just hear words, you read the energy behind them. You pick up on what's not said. Jung called this intuition, perception via the unconscious. Your nervous system is tuned to subtle emotional signals others miss. But here's the trap. You become the unofficial therapist, absorbing everyone else's emotions while ignoring your own. Over time, this drains you. Not because you're weak, but because you're too open. Jung taught that the solution isn't to close off, it's to set psychological boundaries. Otherwise, your gift turns into a curse. Sign 5. You'd rather be real than be liked. Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But that path often means disappointing others. And society doesn't like that. You've probably tried to play the part. Smile when you're empty. Say what's expected. Fit in. And yet, that quiet, aching emptiness never leaves. Why? Because living inauthentically causes what Jung called neurotic symptoms, anxiety, depression, numbness. Your soul rebels against falsehood. And that rebellion, that's where real purpose begins. When you choose truth over approval, you don't just change your life. You give others permission to change theirs too. Sign 6. You've outgrown your old life, and you can't go back. You've changed. Not everyone noticed, but you did. You no longer fit where you once belonged. Not because you're better, but because you're different now. Jung called this psychological death and rebirth, a shedding of the false self and the birth of the real you. And yes, it's lonely. People miss the old you, the one who made them comfortable. But that version of you was shrinking, hiding, pleasing. And once you've seen the truth, you can't unsee it. Jung warned that this stage brings the dark night of the soul, deep isolation. But if you endure it, you attract people and environments that resonate with your true self. Not the mask, the soul. Sign 7. Your presence heals, but it costs you. When people talk to you, they feel seen, understood, safe. That's not a coincidence. Jung discovered something called psychological holding space, the ability to offer healing just by being fully present. It's rare, it's beautiful, and it's draining. You're the emotional anchor for others, but in the process, you become invisible to yourself. He called this helper syndrome, giving so much you forget to receive. The solution isn't to stop caring, but to learn who is worthy of your care. Your presence is sacred. Don't give it to those who can't meet you in return. Sign 8. You know you're meant for something more. You've felt it your whole life. A calling, a restlessness, a knowing. Even if you can't explain it, it's there. Jung called this the transcendent function, your soul pulling you toward your purpose. And it's not ego. It's not delusion. It's your unconscious calling you into alignment. But here's the danger. Without grounding, this purpose can become inflated, turning potential into pressure. Jung believed that people like you carry not just personal purpose, but transpersonal responsibility. You're here to bridge the gap between the unconscious and conscious, to help others awaken by living your truth, not with arrogance, but with humble power. Closing, call to action. If even a few of these signs hit home, you're not just different, you're rare. Carl Jung believed people like you were essential to the evolution of human consciousness. Your intensity isn't too much, it's exactly what the world needs. Your sensitivity isn't weakness, it's your radar. Your authenticity? It's the invitation others have been waiting for. So drop a comment and tell me, which sign felt the most true for you?